Today we're going to go over the basics of Create and do a little world building here at the base. Stay tuned. Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on the OlympusCraft SMP server. Now if you guys can believe it, we've done a pile of episodes here on this SMP, and what makes it a little different than other servers you may watch like Hermitcraft or something like this is that we've got a few mods installed to make the game a little different. And if you've been following me for a while, then you know I'm not the hugest fan of mod packs in Minecraft. I think a lot of times they can take the creativity and problem solving out of the game, but on our server we have mods that are kind of curated to keep that creativity in the game. And one of the mods that I've recently really enjoyed and kind of fallen in love with that I think does that super well is the Create mod. The Create mod gives you a bunch of basic elements, and it tells you to go to town and use these elements in your own creative ways to solve problems, whether that be farming, killing mobs, mining out areas, whatever it may be. So that's what we're going to be going over today, is the basics of the Create mod, and we're going to be breaking it down into a few different episodes. So if you're new to the Create mod, this is going to be great for you. Maybe it's a refresher if it's been a while since you've done it. And if you're advanced with the Create mod, then maybe you'll enjoy some aesthetical stuff that I'll do along the way. And we got a trophy here for Best Bingo Boy. That must be from Darkblade. I played bingo with him the other day, and we had a blast. Him and a bunch of our other friends on a mutual server played bingo, and it was a lot of fun. But without a further ado, I'm going to head on over to this area over here to, I guess it's like to the east of my base. I haven't really built anything over here. We had a little contraption in Create to make some train tracks a few episodes ago, but outside of that, I haven't really done that much in this area. So let's get started with the basic elements and the building blocks of Create. I'll go over it and how to set up all of the basic stuff you'll need for the Create mod. Here are some of the basic elements you're going to need to get started. Some iron for iron nuggets, andesite, and logs. That's really it. To get started, we're going to be making some andesite alloy. It's pretty easy to make. You're just going to be putting andesite and iron nuggets together in a crafting bench. You're going to want to craft a good amount of that stuff. Next up, we're going to be making some shafts, and all you have to do to craft that is put 2 pieces of andesite alloy on top of each other, kind of like sticks with wood. Now we're going to be making a few other things that we're going to need, like cogwheels, which is just shafts and oak planks. And we're also going to make some large cogwheels, which are just cogwheels and oak planks. Now that we got that set up, we can make some water wheels. I've got 2 types of water wheels here, and they're pretty easy to make. You might need some andesite casing for these. So for andesite casing is another basic element that for now we're just going to manually make. Later we'll be able to automate. And for that, we're going to be placing down some stripped logs, right-clicking them with our andesite alloy, and then just break them. That's really it. I do have a vein mine on my axe, so that's why I'm auto-breaking all of these. So we've got our casing, we've got our water wheels. The next thing to do is we're going to grab some large water wheels. If you look here, large water wheel is just plank, and a normal water wheel, which is just planks and a shaft. So pretty easy to craft. 1, 2, 3. We got 3 large water wheels. This is going to create a lot of torque. All of the power, or this mod uses power, kind of like redstone might use power, except this time we're going to be using basic physics. I'm going to be placing the water wheels off of a block like this. So we'll just place these here. You saw there, they all link together. And then up here, we're going to be placing our water sources again. We're going to be kind of placing them on top of these blocks so that they will flow around and down. And let's make a little space right here. I want them to flow down here and go under so that they continue to push from underneath. This will just give us a little bit more power. There we go. That should be plenty of power for us to get started. The more sides of this wheel that there's moving water on, then the more power it's going to generate. We can stick shafts out from this, and what we're going to do now is change the ratio at which it's spinning by using different size cogwheels. We're going to go from a large to a small cogwheel like that, and that's going to double the speed. If we do it again, it'll double the speed again. And let's do it one more time. This will make our machine just that much faster. Next up, we're going to be making a depot, which is just an andesite casing and an andesite alloy. And this depot is going to be what's kind of holding material for us to work with, or for our machines to work with. There we go, simple enough. And we got it a little bit faster. If we shift click the mechanical press there, you can see it's a spinning, it's getting power, and it's going to be able to press things into this depot here. So let's go grab some iron ingots because it is time to make iron sheets. And you can see here that our mechanical press is actually pretty fast. We've got enough power to get it going pretty good. If you're just running it off of this speed here, then this little arm is just going to be going very slow. So you might want to use a few cogwheels to speed up things a little bit. Next up, we're going to be making the mechanical saw. This thing doesn't actually take as much power, but we're going to need those iron sheets, an iron ingot, and an andesite casing. There we go, one saw made. We can power this a few different ways, but one way that you can power it is with a hand crank. Here's a look at how to make that. Just an andesite alloy and some planks. And now if we go to, well, I gotta find a tree. Now if we go to this and you shift click it towards something, it'll place it as if it's pointing into that block. We placed our hand crank on it, and we right click and spin the hand crank. You can see the braking animation, and it cuts down the tree for us. This might be able to save you a lot of time instead of using an axe, and there's no durability to worry about. Then, if you've got some gold in your world, like I do, you can go ahead and make some gold sheets. We're going to need these eventually to make a variety of things, and I think, like, even on Cobblemon, I need some of these gold sheets to make some Ultra Balls. So, if you're playing a variety of packs with different create integration, then this is when the rubber really hits the road. While that's cooking, you're going to want to grab some kelp. If you go out into any ocean biome, you can see there's tons of kelp growing out here. So I'm going to grab a few pieces, get it smelted. Once you've got that dried kelp, we're going to be using it to make some belts. And we're going to be using belts to kind of move items around. If you hit, with any of the create stuff, this mod is great. If you hit W and hold it, it'll show you how an element can be used. If you right click a belt on two shafts at different, then it'll keep a speed between them, and you can put items down on it. All of our gold sheets are done, so now we can craft a few more kind of crucial items. Up next, we're going to do the create wrench. For this, you're going to need a cogwheel, a stick, and 3 golden sheets. You're also going to want to make some engineer goggles. This will allow you to see how much power something is taking, and so that you can kind of diagnose what the problems are. If you're playing this mod, then you should have a little glasses slot next to your hats. You're going to want to put those on. Doesn't work great with my skin, but just pretend it does. And now we should be able to see how much power. So, yep, 512 SU. And if you come over here, this machine, yep, 512 SU at current speed. This will show you like the stress levels of what you're working with. The wrench is going to be useful for turning things. So if you've got a cog that needs to be turned, yeah, the wrench is going to be your friend. We're almost done with all the beginning create stuff for today, and we'll pick it up in another episode. So the next thing we're going to be making is funnels, andesite funnels to be exact. Here's a look at how to make those. You'll just need a dried kelp and an andesite alloy. And now we're going to start with a little bit of automation. Grab our saw, and I'm going to rotate it so it's pointing up. So what we've got here is a chest with an andesite belt funnel. Items are going to come out of this, run over the saw, and now we just need to have another cog powering the shaft here, except it needs to go in the other direction. So 2 shafts here. You can see this one is spinning clockwise, bam bam, pointing clockwise. We'll run this into a block, and then we'll put a funnel here. So now items will come out here, over the saw, into this over here. These are basically just like sideways hoppers, which is super useful. Create mod, you will not best me today, even though this is way out of my comfort zone. We're learning though. Let's get these belts down. Okay, so now I've got the belts going this way, and I've got this saw pointing into the direction the belt is coming. So now if we throw down a little andesite alloy, it'll go through the machine, and I think it is going to turn into, yeah, andesite doorsteps, because we have the create trains. So this is a recipe filter. Let's see if we do this, what it makes. I want it to make the shafts. There we go. Okay, so now we can turn one of these into shaft, and all we gotta do is put back our little thingamabobbers. thingamabobber 1 and 2 are done, and we'll just place some of these in here, and this thing will start automating. So, recipe filter, that's what we really needed there. Is it going to back up too much? No. It seems to be fine. Ideally, the saw is working faster. Doesn't have the most speed. It's only got 64 SU, which is just not a lot of torque, you know, but hey, it's fine for now. It's doing what it's supposed to do. And that's enough create shenanigans for today. I don't have the energy to do too much, but next time, hopefully, we can get a ton more done. But speaking of getting stuff done, let me show you some of the fun stuff I've been doing with the rails. Oh, the rail system is coming together so nicely. Everyone's been on here chipping away at it. It's going to take some time to get all of these rails in place. But if we take a look up here, you'll notice that I have extended a little bit of this area here in town where a train station is eventually going to go. We're going to have this kind of style, I think. The tough blocks with the train tracks underneath. I have the stairs, and then kind of fading out all of the dirt and grass to just the standard biome, everything in between. Of course, there's more building to be done here. This needs to be expanded, but I've already done a lot. Let's take a look at how much I've done. You can see, remember we did this a few episodes ago, doing all this expansion. Oh my gosh, Krimm, you're expanding your tree collection. And then the trail turns off here and goes by the train station. That we did last time, but you'll notice I did some work over here too. Let me show you what I've done there. Oh, this base looks so great. So what I've done is made a few changes to what we did last time. Last time I embraced that code's kind of drilling part that he did here. I think he did it with the create mod. It was off a little bit. As you see, it's up a little too far, and it's down, it's to the right a little too much. So I've mined out a little bit of area myself to add in our own tracks here, so that this section by my base can at least be straight and narrow. Eventually, we might have some little offshoots here where we can park some trains. I would love to see these little offshoots like going into this mountain, and maybe we park some trains down there or something. And for a wall design, this is kind of what I've come up with, using some different leaf blocks here, the cut granite bricks, and I really like these, let's see, what are they called? Railing gates. Nice. So they're like gates, but I really like the texture that they kind of give and the detail they give as an accent on top of this wall. So a little aesthetical thing there for you. We're going to be extending that in just a minute, and a little bit more terraforming to do. Let's get a little bit more terraforming going. Here's the final reveal. Oh yeah, I think this is looking so great. Yeah, so instead of just flattening out this entire area, I think adding a wall and giving it a little bit of purpose is a interesting use of the space. We've got some stalls here for some trains to go, or maybe some train cars, if not the main engines themselves. So something that we can work on eventually. And I think the granite looks great. It can be hard to use sometimes, but I think all the chiseled kind of variants with the create mod adds is really cool. I've got to add the little wall pillars in there at some point. But I finished most of this area out here. You see we got 3 train tracks going into those little alcoves, bunches and bunches of little details in the tracks, right? We get the create, the stone, the cobblestone, and adding in the grass and prairie grass, coarse dirt, just continuing the kind of look of the tracks we've done so far, and of course this little road that is just coming down here. This is maybe a little maintenance road, or maybe it's a way to get to town and you got to cross all the train tracks in order to get to town. That was my eventual idea with this space, was to kind of the home here that's kind of just outside of town, and you got to take a short train ride to town. So maybe once we get some more create stuff going on, we can start working on that, because I really want to populate this base with a bunch of cool buildings, make it feel lived in, make it feel like a story. That's my style. That's what I enjoy doing. Can't wait to start working with these trains actually, so we can take them for a ride around the server, and we'll have something to store in our little alcove here that'll eventually get designed. But that's all the time that I've got for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this type of thing, make sure you leave a thumbs up. Even though it's just landscaping and world building, to me, very satisfying, very fun to do, and I hope you guys can enjoy my enthusiasm for it. I'll catch you guys all in the next episode.